we went into this knowing that anywhere between 1 and 5, we were going to get a good player. And as we look at this is a player that's complementary to a player that we have in place in Carmelo and what we're going to do in free agency. So we feel this is a really good draft, and we know we'll get a good player for us at 4. We're going to be open to a lot of things, but we know we can get a good player at this pick, but we're also going to be open to talking to teams and looking at different options.
What was your immediate reaction when they opened up the 4?
Well, I was disappointed because we obviously wanted to get number 1, but again, it was not a total disappointment just because we knew that we were going to get a good player wherever we ended up in our range in this round.
Top seed won it, and you were the top seed.
Well, the outcome of games, players are going to go out and try to play hard and try to win games, and that's what we ask them to do every night. So that's just the way the ping pong balls turned out this time.
Steve, how will free agency affect who you'll draft and how you approach that?
I mean, it'll have a big impact. We'll look at what kind of guys we think are going to move in free agency and have our draft plans accordingly.
History has proven you can get a solid player at number 4. What are your thoughts of not being able to get in the first 3, but to get number 4?
We feel really good about 4. I mean, we feel good that in this draft we could have gotten a good player anywhere from 1 to 5. So we went into this optimistic, and we remain the same way.
Are you guys willing to wait for somebody? Because top 5, you think is going to be a 19-year-old kid regardless. Are you willing to wait for somebody?
Well, as I said, I think this pick is complementary to where we're going with, like I said, with a guy like Carmelo in place, what we plan on doing with the $28 million of cap room that we have. So even if this was the first pick, I think that player was going to have some time to develop. So that our view hasn't changed in that regard.
How many of these guys have you worked out already?
No, we've worked out a couple of guys in terms of having interviews with them. We haven't worked any of them out on the court yet.
A lot of talk about Moutier at 4 in that range. I mean, from China. I mean, what's your view about his potential?
I mean, Moutier's potentially a very good player. We haven't worked him out yet, but we think he's a guy that obviously will be in the mix. But we're going to look at all of our options, and we'll feel good about whoever we end up selecting.
Did you ever go to China? You didn't go to China.
No, I didn't go to China.
Obviously, with how much the big guys are talked about in the first 2, maybe 3 spots, does make it highly likely you think that you guys look at a wing or maybe a guard with the 4th spot?
A lot will depend on what we think we're going to end up doing in free agency, what kind of players we think will move. That will have something to do with where we end up drafting.
Does knowing this spot now start to clarify some of your plans and kind of have an idea of what kind of guys will be there and as far as you head to free agency?
Yes.
If D'Angelo is available at 4, would that be an attractive option for you guys?
I'm not going to comment on any particular players at this point, but like I said, we think that all the players that should be there in that range will be productive NBA players.
How prepared are you guys to be at this spot in terms of scouting the players who may end up at 4? You've done a lot of homework on all the guys who could end up at 4.
We're very comfortable with our scouting and our take on players at this point, so we're not worried about that in terms of the position.
Did you have a few good lucks? I know Peter DeBush had given you the ring. Peter.
Yeah, we had this is the ring that Dave DeBuscher wore at the lottery. So that's what I had with
That
him.
was the main one.
It looked like a little bit of a sad face when you saw your name come up there. Was it, nerve-wracking, or what was it like when you're waiting those picks out?
It's nerve-wracking. You're more anxious and anticipating what's going to happen. And like I said, of course we would have preferred to go higher, but going into this, knew we were going to feel good about wherever we ended up.
When you guys say you're open to talking to other teams about potential trades, does that include both for veterans and potentially moving down for multiple picks? Is everything kind of on the table?
We have a lot of things that are on the table at this point. We still have exceptions that we can use between now and the draft. So we're talking to teams about a lot of different things. So we're open to looking at different opportunities to continue to improve our team.
You're hoping to, add another pick anyway, even if it's a second round pick, even if you can't get it. I mean, you want more than one pick in this draft.
I'm not sure where we're going to go. We may end up looking at a second pick, but more than likely, even if we take that pick, it's not for a player that we would expect to be on our team. We have a lot of young players on our roster right now, and our goal is to expand the team and add some more veteran and more experienced players onto the roster.
Steve, what can you say to the Knicks fan that tonight just looks at things as a setback to the organization because of where you guys ended up and where you were hoping to take?
I think it's not a setback at all. Like I said, we went into this draft knowing that we could get a good player anywhere from 1 to 5. Again, whatever player that is complementary to where we're going, and I think we're going to get a good player. We're going to continue with our process. We're going to build this team the right way.
You're going to get a good player, Steve, likely a perimeter player. Is that a little less appetizing than getting a good player who's one of the two big guys, given your needs up front?
I mean, I think it just changes the direction we have to go in free agency and what we have to look at in terms of trade possibilities.
Are you comfortable you could sign a big man in free agency?
I'm not sure. I think we'll be able to get a few good players in free agency, and that might be an indicator of our direction we may go.
Do you know how many? I mean, I know it's tough to say, but how many guys do you think will be back on this current roster?
It's hard to say. We know we have 5 guys under contract. We could bring 2 or 3 more back from the current group, but somewhere in that range more than likely.
Is it possible you could hold the ring up so we get a shot of it? That was the Busher ring back in '85?
Yes, it was Hall of Fame ring.
And that's one of the championship rings?
Basketball Hall of Fame. His
Okay.
induction into the Basketball Hall of Fame.
Okay.
Steve, you talk about building the right way. Is there any, because you don't have a pick next year, but a possible lottery, is there an impetus to try and make this jump quick and become a playoff team in a year?
I think our goal is to become a playoff team, but we feel like we have the opportunity to gradually build this team, continue to get better, and we'll go into free agency again the following year. We'll still have additional cap room with the salary, the jump that the cap will make, but we'll do the things that we have to do to make this team better. I feel very confident about that.
All right, thank you.